In the headlines, Vice President Shettima visits Sultan of Sokoto, seeks northern support for Tinubu administration in tackling Nigeria's security challenges. Troops hand over 12 suspected rail track vandals to NSCDC in Nasarawa State. Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria denies plan to increase petrol price to 700 naira per litre. And on the foreign scene, at least 25 dead, 8 injured after bus catches fire in India. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thanks for joining us at this hour. We begin the bulletin from Sokoto State, where Vice President Kashim Shettima on Thursday asked northern leaders to support efforts of the Bola Tinubu administration in tackling Nigeria's security challenges. Shettima made the call when he paid Salah homage to the Sultan of Sokoto State, Mohammed Saad Abubakar III, in his palace. While conveying President Tinubu's felicitations, the Vice President emphasized the importance of peace and unity, noting that there can never be peace without development, nor development without peace. The Sultan of Sokoto thanked Shettima for the Salah homage and sought divine wisdom and strength to discharge tasks assigned to him as the nation's #2 citizen.
I will urge you, I will implore you, I will beg you in the name of Allah to, at whatever cost, sustain your relationship with the Sarkin Yamma for the peace, stability, and progress of our sub-region. Please accept the glad tidings and regards from His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is very much aware of the challenges of our people, the insecurity that has pervaded the northwest sub-region of the country. He is taking far-reaching measures, and I want to congratulate you. In the past 30 days, there has been some semblance of peace. Out of the 4 terrorist leaders, I think the security forces have adequately handled 3 of them. I want to commend them. We want to thank them for all the sacrifices.
Troops of 4 Special Forces Command in Doma, Nasarawa State have arrested 12 suspected rail track vandals at an abandoned railway station in Angwanyara and Agyaragu communities. Handing over the suspects on behalf of the commander, the Acting Deputy Director, Army Public Relations, 4 Special Forces Command Doma, Major Joseph Adekunle, says all the suspects have been apprehended by the troops to the State Nasarawa State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. The report.
The tracks had been vandalized in large quantities by the vandals and had been loaded in 2 12-tire trucks before their lock ran out. In the course of further investigation, prominent citizens within Lafia and Jos Plateau State were mentioned as members of the syndicate.
Troop of 4 Special Forces Command, during a routine patrol, intercepted 5 suspected rail track vandals at an abandoned railway station between Angwanyara and Agyaragu community within Kiana local government area of Nasarawa State. The suspects were arrested in connection with the vandalization of rail track in large quantities, which were loaded in 2 12-tire trucks. Subsequently, during the course of further interrogation, prominent citizens within Lafia and Jos Plateau State were mentioned as members of the syndicate.
Deputy Commandant of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC), Efere Joseph, who received all the suspects, appreciated the Army for the collaboration to tackle the state of insecurity in Nasarawa State. He gave assurances that all the suspects would be charged to court for prosecution after investigation to serve as a deterrent to others.
The handover note from the major in charge of the handing over process. This gentleman behind me, definitely we are going to take them to our command interrogate them, and then make sure that we forward it to the Federal High Court for further prosecution. But definitely they are going to pay dearly for what they have committed, because they are the ones that are pulling back the government in terms of national infrastructures.
They say I should carry this motor to go lot around Ajerogu site, then I'll come back. And the time where they are giving me the motor, I tell them, say, I'll still go back to school around 2 o'clock, go and park student. So they just tell me, say, I should carry it, go lot and come back before that 2 o'clock.
I just recently came back from school last 2 weeks, Wednesday. So I decided to go on with them so that I will look for what to sponsor myself.
Where are you schooling?
In Federal Poly, Nassau.
What level?
I'm in final year, sir.
What studies? What course of study?
A lot of vandalized tracks are still stockpiled at the spot where the vandals were arrested, waiting to be evacuated.
Still in line with security matters, the Acting Inspector General of Police, Lukayode Egbetokun, has summoned some officers serving in Edo State to the force headquarters in Abuja. Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi disclosed this in a statement on Thursday, saying the action followed a disturbing incident where a police team ran a vehicle over a citizen on Thursday at the Ekpoma area of the state. Adejobi said the erring policemen who had been in detention in Edo State are to report to the force headquarters on Monday for further action. He called for calm, assuring residents of Ekpoma that the police authorities will not condone such an act of unprofessionalism and illegality. With the 2023 Eid al-Kabir celebration over, Muslims and non-Muslims say they have several takeaways and lessons from the festivities. Among the takeaways is the hospitality of Katsina residents to non-indigents within their localities. Abdullahi Yamadi in this report speaks with some non-indigent residents in Katsina who witnessed the celebration. Let's take a look at his report.
In Katsina, there are few or no restaurants or food vendors who open for business during festive periods, such as Salah. Non-indigents who rely heavily on restaurants for their meals have no cause to worry, as the hospitality known for Katsina people knows no bound. Miriam Oziama says was treated to what she called the best dishes she ever had in her entire life.
And I'm here with my friends and family celebrating this Eid Kabir. And here with me is me and Tawishi and Kudus. This is my first time of having to taste this wonderful meal, and it's very, very lovely.
It is also the tradition of many Katsina residents to serve meals and drinks to those around, regardless of tribe or religion.
This Salah, which is what you call faithfulness and obedience, and that is what we use to preach to our people, especially this time around when there is change in pattern and because of the economy.
This is happening even as many are caught in the hardship occasioned by inflation, fuel subsidy removal, and food scarcity.
As you can see, last year with like 50,000 you can buy a medium-sized big ram, but this year you have to spend 80,000, and you can look at the prices of price of petrol now. So all the money virtually is going on fueling. People are tend to take the hardship and push on with it.
As a matter of fact, there is a serious economic hardship. I had 2 chickens only for this Salah. I wanted to make a sacrifice at least to slaughter a ram, but I found it impossible. All the same, I thank God for witnessing the period. Even business owners who compared this year's Eid with previous festive seasons admitted that this is the worst ever in terms of living costs.
There's a big difference between now and then. You can see how the celebration here, everywhere is dull, everywhere is just dull, nothing is moving. Unlike before, where when you get in here, you not even see goods on the high side, everything is skyrocketed. People don't have money to buy. People want to buy, but they don't have the money. So that is what we are facing here, especially here in Katsina now.
Economists and other commentators are saying the earlier the government does something to cushion the effects of inflation and fuel subsidy removal, the better for Nigerians and Nigeria as a nation. Abdullahi Izumayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
That's a good one for non-indigents in Katsina State. Still in northwest Nigeria, Kano State Governor Abba Kabir says he has no regrets over the ongoing demolition exercise his government is undertaking to reclaim government properties. While receiving the Emir of Kano at the State Government House to mark this year's Hawan Nasarawa Dobar, the governor further assured the Emir that his administration will continue to work for the interests of people of Kano State. Trust TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that the governor highlights his major achievements within the last 31 days.
In Hawan Nasarawa Doba, the Emir traditionally marched out his troops to the State Government House in order to pay Salah homage to the governor. According to Governor Abba Kabir, this year's Hawan Nasarawa is unique for the state government, the Emirates, and the entire people of Kano State because it's the first time to be observed by him as governor of the state.
It is the first day when the Emir visited his brother to pay homage as the governor of Kano State. Your Highness, let me seize this opportunity to once more inform you that since we assumed office, we have been working very hard, day and night, to ensure that we fulfill most of the promises we made to the good people of Kano State.
Informing the Emir about his achievement within the last 31 days, Governor Abba Kabir says the demolition of each central ground in Kofarmata is his greatest achievement of all, followed by the payment of 1.6 billion naira NECO fees, revival of feeding across boarding schools in Kano, among others.
We have never demolished individuals' houses or individuals' properties. What we are doing is to look at public places that are meant for the enjoyment of the good people of the state. Hospitals, graveyards, schools, and so on and so forth. So I just want to say that we in government have no regret for our action whatsoever, because we know we are doing it for the betterment of the good people of the state. My greatest happiness as far as the demolition is concerned is the retrieval of the idle ground situated at Koparmata that has been there for years, that is meant for the Muslim Ummah.
While commending the state governor's excellent leadership qualities, the Emir assured that the Emirate will continue to cooperate and support all government policies and programs geared towards the development of Kano people, as he called on government to intensify efforts towards easing the suffering of the poor masses. Your Excellency, I wish to inform you that the Kano Emirate will support and cooperate with all your policies and programs for the development of our dear state. I therefore call on you to continue to do your best in easing the suffering of the masses, especially given that the increase in fuel price has posed some hardship to the people. Hundreds of Kano residents turned out to receive the Emir, his royal trends, and other traditional title holders who rode their horses to the state government house. Idris Jobrin, Trust TV News, Kano.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV, coming up after the break. We'll take a look at traditional meat sharing and preserving method. Details of this story and more to come after the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at the recap of some of our top stories. We told you that Vice President Shettima visits Sultan of Sokoto seeks northern support for Tinubu administration in tackling Nigeria's security challenges. And troops hand over 12 suspected rail track vandals to NSCDC in Nasarawa State. Moving on to other stories, the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria has denied the alleged plan by the association to increase pump price of premium motor spirit, also known as petrol, to 700 naira per litre nationwide. The chairman of IPMAN Southwest Zone, Dele Tajuddin, stated this in an interview in Ibadan on Friday. He therefore urged Nigerians to disregard the speculation and not engage in panic buying. Tajuddin stressed that the price of the product would not be more than what it is being sold presently. He commended President Bola Tinubu for removing the subsidy on petrol, adding that it was long overdue. He said the slight increase in pump price was because of the transportation cost, adding that Nigerians should be at rest as the commodity will not be out of reach for the masses. Salah celebration has come and gone, but the memory of tyranny in Sokoto still lingers. In this report, Abubakar Imam traces the origin of the age-long tradition of sharing and preserving Salah meat in Sokoto State.
It's Salah Day. One of the rituals of the day is the slaughtering of rams to commemorate the sacrifice made by Prophet Abraham. Here are residents of Sokoto State Metropolis processing their sacrificial lambs for consumption and distribution to the needy, neighbors, and distant relatives. This age-long tradition of roasting is known in local parlance as tarini, meaning barbecue. In each community, there is a designated spot for such tradition, and every resident is expected to bring his slaughtered lamb for tarini. This process is considered cumbersome, especially by resident communities, because it involves slaughtering the lambs or cows or any animal permitted by Islam, butchering them, fixing them to steaks, and setting up bonfire to roast them. They can remain there overnight, and when they are fully roasted, each family will remove their own and take them home. They would cut them into pieces for easy frying and eventual distribution. This tradition has remained even in the face of modernization. Some of the residents say tarini has been on for centuries.
Aware This tradition is peculiar only to the people of Sokoto State. It has been on for centuries. During every Eid al-Kabir, we slaughtered our sacrificial animals as enshrined in the Holy Quran, and this is how we process the meat. Each family brings their slaughtered rams here. We set a bonfire and roast them, and every family have their name written on their rams for easy identification. I don't know how the tradition started. I am now over 70 years, but I only grew up to see my parents doing it. It's a good tradition with a lot of advantages.
The tradition is also seen as a unifying factor for members of the community.
Tareni brings members of the family together. It strengthens the bonds of our relationship. It makes us see ourselves as one big family.
It is also another way of preserving the meat because, according to Malam Garba Gada, any meat that undergo this process can last for over 1 year.
As I'm talking to you, there are some people who still have last year's Salah's meat.
They are also confident that the tradition will not go into extinction. Abubakar Awal Imam reporting for Trust TV.
Sokoto State's residents still basking in the euphoria of the Salah celebrations. Now, away from that, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency has predicted cloudiness and sunshine from Saturday to Monday across the nation. NIMET's weather outlook, released on Friday in Abuja, anticipates a cloudy atmosphere on Saturday with intervals of sunshine over the northern region. The agency forecasts chances of morning thunderstorms over parts of Borno, Yobe, Gombe, Jigawa, Bauchi, Adamawa and Taraba states. According to it, cloudy atmosphere is anticipated over parts of the inland states of the south and the coastal cities in the morning, with prospects of rain over parts of Oyo, Osun, Ondo, Ogun, Edo, Lagos, Delta and Bayelsa states. NIMET envisages thunderstorms with intermittent rains over parts of Ondo, Oyo, Enugu, Lagos, Imo, Abia, Ebonyi, Delta, Rivers, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River states later in the day. The agency advised disaster risk managers, agencies, and individuals to be proactive to avert loss of lives and property during rainy season. The economic situation in the country is biting harder on petty traders in Benue who are experiencing low patronage. In Makurdi, many traders said their businesses have suffered setbacks due to the economic crisis. Jimmy Azande reports.
The usual human traffic in the popular Wadata market, known for most petty trading, is now in the shadow of its former self. No thanks to the economic situation as recounted by the market women.
They suffer as we don't suffer too much. They all government to all day. When I saw we did, they suffer money not to see food to chop on a problem. This on where we down. If God and this new government to enter now, we need help from them. May they help us. Above, I don't say nothing. I don't say. I don't see to go pay back. Oh, government help us. Yeah. Yeah. When I see market back.
The residents said the cost of items in the market is a major problem. They also said many hardly afford even the commonest food items in the market these days.
The manner of which everything is getting high is too much. Imagine rice. As of before, more than 400, 500. It's now 1,000 naira. You see, even meat, beef too, is too high. Even oil, all this. Imagine pure water. Gari is now rubber pants, 1.5. Imagine.
Others blame the worsening situation on the current subsidy remover in the country.
And when you talk to the customer will now tell you that the fuel problem now make everything was too high of this time. That is the problem we have. This fuel program, not money. The money follow at the back. The first story was fuel because before we were buying a liter of fuel 200 naira, from at times 220. But now the fuel is 550 or 600 naira. Before you even come to the market, you first of all calculate how you stand and how do you start. How do you come and buy the goods in the market?
The residents begged the government to come up with palliative to alleviate the suffering of Nigerians. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
And on the foreign scene, at least 25 people were killed and 8 others injured in western India when a bus crashed and caught fire on an expressway early Saturday. The bus was traveling to the city of Pune when it hit a pole and overturned after midnight, causing its diesel tank to catch fire. Senior police officer Babu Rao Mahamuni told AFP. The injured have been admitted to a hospital near the site of the crash in Maharashtra state, about 400 kilometers east of India's financial capital, Mumbai. The driver and conductor of the bus were taken into custody for questioning, State Rural Development Minister Girish Mahajan told reporters. Mahajan added that the bodies had been charred beyond recognition, and forensic teams were on their way to help in identification. Police said they had launched an inquiry into the crash. And finally, in sports news, Victor Osimhen is now the 3rd most valuable striker in the world, according to popular statistics medium Transfer Market. Osimhen is ranked only behind Paris Saint-Germain forward Kylian Mbappe and Manchester City's Erling Haaland. The 24-year-old was the top scorer in Serie A last season with 26 goals from 32 games. The Nigerian added another 5 in the UEFA Champions League. Osimhen is the highest-ranked striker in Syria and Africa. Tottenham Hotspur forward Harry Kane is in 4th position, followed by Inter Milan's Lautaro Martinez. And with that, we've come to the end of Trust TV News Update at this hour. Do not forget to follow us across all of our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentaries. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thanks for watching.